Natural? 51 years old?
What do you think of Tyson and Jake?
I wish he didn't do it. I wish it wasn't a thing. I wish it wasn't a thing where a 58-year-old guy was going to fight a 28-year-old. That said, that out the window.
If you're Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
If you're Mike Tyson, you know. I mean, even Paul, bro. Paul is not a small guy.
No.
He's big. Like, a lot of guys think he's tiny. He's a huge boy.
He's a big dude, and he can crack.
Yeah.
The largest swindle in boxing history was been exposed by Joe Rogan. And yes, you read correctly. Even more phony than an audition tape for a reality TV program was Jake Paul's fight opinion piece against Mike Tyson. In order for Jake Paul, the most overhyped YouTuber in history, to strut around as though he had actually accomplished something, it turns out that Mike Tyson, the man who used to make opponents cry before the bell even rang, was allegedly threatened into taking a dive. Tyson, 58, was forced to hold back for some vulnerable reasons.
Celebrity, this was not something for some charity. No. We're going to do this. And Jake Paul, they asked Jake Paul, did he take his foot off the gas? Stephen A., this is what he said. Yeah, definitely a bit. I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
And Joe, he's done being kind. He's pointing out the prefabricated absurdity in the circus performance that we all regrettably saw. Fans of Mike Tyson are incensed, and rightfully so. The desire for Tyson to return to the ring is almost poetic. We were all elated about the comeback and thought, it's Mike Tyson, he's got this. But now we're all choking on our little pie and recognizing how completely we fell short.
Just forget that Jake Paul is a YouTube guy and watch him box.
Yeah.
The kid can fight, 100%. And that Tommy Fury fight really showed that. I mean, it goes to a split decision against a legit undefeated boxer.
Yeah. He doesn't, I'll tell you what, the one thing he doesn't want to do is fight Mike.
No.
He wants to fight Mike, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
He was young. He was 20 years old at the time. He couldn't be stopped. No one had the solution. And I submit that Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson that won the title against Trevor Berbick, the Mike Tyson that beat Larry Holmes, I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time.
Joe Rogan laid it out simply. If this were prime Mike Tyson, Jake Paul wouldn't make it past the first round. You've seen the Marvis Frazier fight, right? That wasn't a fight. It was an execution, Rogan said, shaking his head. While Tyson at 58 is far from his peak, Rogan didn't think Jake's odds improved much. The guy's eating raw meat and sweating through interviews like he's prepping for the apocalypse, Rogan quipped. Even decades past his prime, Tyson remains terrifying. Rogan joked that Jake was probably Googling ways to back out gracefully, knowing what he's up against. It's like pitting a lion against a house cat, Rogan said. Jake might fancy himself a rising star, but Tyson is a legend who's smashed men, plural, for fun. Rogan wasn't impressed with Jake's chances. Good luck with that, he concluded, implying that no amount of bravado could bridge the gap between a YouTuber and a heavyweight icon.
So we had Mike Tyson in when he was 300 pounds. And he was just eating and having fun and smoking weed. He goes, I don't even work out. He goes, if I work out, it'll excite myself. It'll excite my ego. And then I don't like that person. So he just decided that he was just going to be chill Mike Tyson. And then he got this offer to fight Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
So he gets in insane shape. And the next time I see him, the second podcast we do, Mike now weighs 230 pounds.
According to the man who created the story of the Table Destroyer, Tyson has a dark chamber in his head, and Joe Rogan is very certain that it is open because 300-pound Tyson had Rogan reevaluate his life choices in the middle of his food and his joint. He even rearranged his podcast table. Tyson had stated, I don't work out. Why? Because exercising boosts his ego, and it seems that no one wants to meet that Tyson. When he suddenly gains 230 pounds of muscle during his battle with Roy Jones Jr., Rogan is thinking about table width for his own protection.
Mike Tyson, people talk to. There's certain people that are just crazy, man.
Well, these people that think that he don't stand a chance against Jake Paul, they're like, this shouldn't even, like, because he's too old. I was like, I think you're crazy.
Well, they're definitely uninformed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: he is 57 years old. He will be 58 when they fight. He has had a long fighting career. He has been knocked out by massive men like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. You know, he's had a lot of blows, and he's also doing this very unique kind of training with electrical muscular stimulation.
The fight with Roy Jones Jr. wasn't a brawl. It felt more like sparring with a side of nostalgia. Joe Rogan suspects there was an unspoken "don't punch me in the head" agreement, which makes sense. Jones isn't exactly Tyson-sized. Tyson is a different mass, Rogan explained, calling him a human wrecking ball with a dense, terrifying frame. But this fight with Jake Paul? No head-punching stipulations here. It's all systems go, and Tyson reportedly looks like he's breathing fire, ready to flatten someone's face again. Yet somehow, some people think Jake Paul stands a chance against Mike Tyson. Really? Let's break down the absurdity. Yes, Tyson is 57, soon to be 58, and his prime fighting days are long gone. He's taken his share of heavy hits from legends like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. But comparing a heavyweight icon to a social media meme boxer? Laughable. Tyson's still a beast. The idea that Jake Paul could go toe-to-toe with him borders on delusion.
There's not a chance in hell that Jake Paul would survive against the Mike Tyson that beat Marvis Frazier. You ever watch that fight?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Mike Tyson fight, because that was Mike Tyson before he won the title. It was ABC Wire.
Let's consider the bigger picture. With a strike so well placed that it's still studied today, George Foreman, then 45, regained the heavyweight title by knocking out Mike Moe. Foreman continued to fight until he was 48, giving Shannon the Cannon Briggs a serious run for his money.
Placement and human growth hormone and peptides.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Mike Tyson, yeah, he's 57, but he got access to
everything.
Everything.
And he's also doing this very unique kind of training with electrical muscular stimulation. That I've talked to some people that do that, and it has massive benefits of rehabilitating injuries.
Back in the day, aging fighters didn't have access to today's biohacking miracles. Mike Tyson? He's got it all. Testosterone replacement therapy, human growth hormone, peptides, you name it. This isn't your average 57-year-old struggling to climb stairs. Tyson is a scientifically optimized machine, determined to show he's still got it. And then there's the electric stimulation training. Tyson's been using this cutting-edge neuromuscular electrical stimulation, NES, device for years. It sends impulses through the body, forcing muscles to contract during workouts. Imagine doing squats or deadlifts while hooked to a machine that jolts your muscles into overdrive. The results? Faster recovery, increased blood flow, and rehab for old injuries. Tyson used this tech leading up to his fight with Roy Jones Jr., and it's reportedly a key part of his current training. It's not just a gimmick. It's another tool in Tyson's arsenal as he prepares to prove he's still a force to be reckoned with.
Tyson smashing the mitts, like, Jesus, that guy can still fuck you up.
He don't want to fight Mike.
In this world with hormone replacement and vitamins and he does all this electrical muscular stimulation recovery stuff. Like when they were training Mike for that Roy Jones fight, like they were using state-of-the-art science.
Here we go. The Logan Paul Appreciation Society. Yes. Logan Paul, the YouTube sensation turned wrestling daredevil, has made a name for himself hurling off ropes like he's auditioning for a Fast and Furious stunt. Wild stuff. And Jake Paul? We're supposed to forget his YouTube roots and marvel at his boxing. Sure, he's improved, but let's not gloss over that split decision loss to Tommy Fury. An undefeated boxer, yes, but groundbreaking? Not really. Now onto the Mike Tyson Fantasy League. Picture this: Jake Paul staring across the ring at Mike freaking Tyson, realizing he's about to fight a man who could still shatter ribs at 55. Tyson isn't your average retiree. He's optimized with state-of-the-art hormone therapies and enough electrical muscle stimulation to power a small city. The thought of putting a 20-something influencer in the ring with this human wrecking ball is absurd. But hey, mismatches make headlines. And then there's Roy Jones Jr. He faced Tyson under what looked like a "please don't hit me in the face" clause. A smart move, honestly. Yet somehow, at 54, Roy found time to box Anthony Pettis. Nostalgia? Sure. Sensible? Debatable. Roy's split decision loss aside, he's still grinding, proving that even legends can resist testing their limits. Joe Rogan didn't hold back when recalling his second encounter with Tyson. It was a stark contrast to their first meeting, when Tyson was all about staying chill, carefully avoiding anything that might unleash his inner beast. But when the call came to fight Roy Jones Jr., Tyson's transformation was biblical. Suddenly, the calm exterior gave way to the terrifying fighter within. Even Rogan admitted the atmosphere changed. Tyson's fight mode wasn't just intimidating, it was downright terrifying. The table width during interviews? Carefully calculated, just in case. And now Jake Paul's name is thrown into this chaos? It's either genius marketing or a disaster waiting to happen.
Kevin Hart said it best. He goes, "It's like being in a room with a lion." Like, even if the lion is like...
Jamie Foxx's little joke is like someone let a pit bull let loose in the room. They don't know whose it is.
And then Jamie's got to play him in a movie, which has got to be terrifying. Like, don't piss.
Here's where it gets wild. After Mike Tyson's match with Roy Jones Jr., Joe Rogan couldn't help but draw comparisons to the rise of a certain someone, Jake Paul. Jake Paul is out here calling himself a boxer, Rogan said, practically rolling his eyes. Can you imagine Jake stepping into the ring with Tyson? Forget a table, you'd need a moat. And then there's the infamous warning from Kevin Hart and Jamie Foxx about sharing a room with Tyson. Jamie once joked that it's like someone letting a bull loose and not telling you where it is. Rogan couldn't agree more. You don't poke the bear, or the lion, or whatever apex predator Tyson feels like embodying that day, Rogan said. But then he dropped the hammer. Jake Paul is no Tyson. Not even close. Sure, Rogan admitted, Jake's got hustle. But stepping into the ring with Tyson? That's a one-way ticket to the ER. I hope Jake's ego can take a punch, Rogan quipped, because his face definitely can't take Tyson's. So, is Jake Paul a legitimate boxer? Absolutely. If your definition includes knocking out retirees and dabbling with athletes who moonlight as fighters, strip away the influencer gloss and just watch him fight. He's competent. He doesn't flail or, look cartoonishly bad. He's a guy who knows how to throw punches without falling over. And maybe people would call him the future of boxing. Maybe not. Now, about Tyson. Jake Paul says he's willing to face him in the ring. Yes, that Mike Tyson, who even at 57, carries an aura that could scare Jake into shadow boxing himself. Bold move. But there's a gamble. Tyson might not be the human demolition machine who obliterated Marvis Frazier in 30 seconds. Let's face it, Marvis didn't lose a boxing match that night. He attended his own career's funeral.